So there's nothing more frustrating than having smoke to drive off the tee. You've left yourself 150 yards into the green, feeling good, ready for your second shot, and then we go ahead and hit that big pull, long left. In this case, I've got water left, splash, there's a double bogey quite easily. Nothing more frustrating than that, guys. We've all been there. That is the pulled shot, and in this video I'm going to be sharing what that is, typically why it can happen, and some great drills to get that fixed. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Danny Malcolm. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Lots more content to come to help you guys improve your game. So let's dive right into it. So what is the pulled shot? Well, for the right-handed golfer, it's when we get the club path relative to the target here, represented by the yellow balls. It's when we get the club path swinging left of the target, out to in for the right-hander, and the club face at impact that's aiming where the club is swinging. So we get the face, what we call square to the path, and we get that pulled shot as I've just demonstrated. So frustrating. So we've got to look at why is that happening. Well, yes, the club face is the biggest influence on where that ball's going. So it's 75 to 85% influence on where the ball starts. But if it's starting straight left and staying left, then it's typically you've got your face pretty square to your path. So it's going to say that we really need to start looking at your club path. So before we look at that, just check that you're aiming correctly. It sounds so simple, but if we think we're pulling it, yet we're just aiming left for the right-hander, then it's not a swing issue, it's an aiming issue. So oftentimes for amateurs that I'll play with, I'll see them have their rehearsal swings next to the ball, which is fine, but then they'll come straight into a ball for a target that's very far away and adjust their feet first, aim their feet first. It could be too far left. And then if they do swing it and miss left from there, well, really they were just aiming left, typically. So the other side of it is if a player walks into their shot and aims their feet first, and often it's typically to the right of the target, and then we look up to see where the target is, and then we start to make these adjustments, then all of a sudden, yes, I'm aiming right, and the player might hit that one pretty much onto the target because they figure out a way, my target's there but I'm aiming here, so I've got to swing over or out in relative to my aim to get it going towards my target. The only thing then is when your friend or your buddy says, hey Danny, you're aiming too far to the right, and then you go and correct it and start aiming well, but you still miss it left. That's because you've found that you've developed this pattern from poor alignment that's then causing this out in path relative to your aim. So what we want to be doing there is just getting a good routine to start with. So let's, as we walk in golf, the target's to the side of us. So what I like to do is pick a mark on the ground that is in line with your end target. It could be a little bit of grass, it could be an old tee, a leaf, anything like that. I've just used these balls to be able to show us on the video. And as we're walking in, I'm looking at this first ball, this first bit of mark on the ground, aiming my club face first, so I know that's square to my intermediate target, which is going to be aligned to my end target. Build my stance around this imaginary line, and now I know my alignment's good. I know my feet are good, I can check my shoulders, ball position, check all these ideas. Ball position is another key factor. If that's too far forward, we can start to catch the ball later on that swing arc, which can also cause a pulled shot. So check your fundamentals, guys. Check your fundamentals, so important. Alignment. So that's what I'd encourage. Good little routine. Club face first to your intermediate target. Build your stance around that. And then when you're looking at your target, just tilt the head this way as opposed to lifting the whole body up. Because then this can start to affect shoulder alignment, and you start to get into this position, which is going to influence the path that's more to the left, and there's your pulled shots again. So if we've got good alignment, then it's going to be club path if we're still hitting it and pulling it to the left. So some ideas for club path. First one, a couple of key concepts. If you are getting to the top, and this concept of trying to get the hands working out to the golf ball in this fashion, making a beeline for the ball, what that'll do is start to get the club swinging left or out in, unless you make some compensations to get the club back online. So that idea of getting the hands to the ball is not good for some players, so that could be a cause of that swing path or club path going to the left. Second to that is rotation. Often I see this where a player gets to the top, we're told to rotate more, we're told to rotate, and as we do, if we leave the arms up there as we rotate, notice how that club starts to work more out. Rotation itself is a steepener, so it gets the club working more out this way. So we want to understand, to do the opposite of that, just understand the concept. So for the first piece, instead of getting the hands working out to the ball, let's get the hands working more down. So that hand path working down, or as a feeling working more back this way. That's going to start the downswing in a better fashion. It's going to get the club more on plane, more from the inside. Then as we rotate, you're going to have a better chance of getting the club path more neutral, or maybe from in to out. And as it goes to the rotation, try and reduce the amount of rotation we have early and get the arms lowering first. So this lowering move, you may have seen players such as Justin Rose do this one a lot in his rehearsal swings. So he gets to the top, his back stays close to the target as he lowers his arms. And that gets so the hand path works down, the arms are lowering before the rotation. Then as he does start to unwind through the shot, the club's going to come much more from the inside. So you can do a few little feels there, and then when you make a swing, you really start to feel those arms lowering. You see how much more from the inside that club starts to travel. So that's a great one, the Justin Rose drill, fantastic drill to stop the pulled shots. Another one, guys, is the 430 path, one of my absolute favorites. Good visuals for on the ground. You can use a golf club or an alignment rod. Imagine that clock face being 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4:30, pop it on the ground there. It just gives you a visual now as we make some swings. I'll put it a little bit closer so you can see it on the camera, but typically I'd have it a touch further back. But from here, as you swing to the top, you're trying to match that golf club to that 430 path in the downswing. So not swinging out towards what would maybe be 2 o'clock or 1:30. We're going to get to 4:30, and then as we rotate from there, I'd start small. Just feel that club working more from in to out. So you start to push them to the right initially. And that's just a wonderful one there, guys, as a visual, because you can see it depending on how you learn, whether it's feels or visuals. I really like that one as a go-to to help stop the club path working to out. So lowering the arms, matching up to that 430 path, and then over time, you can start to increase the speed at which you do that. Now finally, guys, a simple little gate drill. So you can get this is good for constraints, gives you feedback immediately. Create a little gate on this 45-degree angle. The ball would be in the middle. And you could have it, use tees because it's probably a little bit safer. You can use balls, but I like to use tees or something softer because if you hit them, that's obviously signs and feedback. So start fairly wide initially. You could do it without a ball initially. Can I make some swings where the club swings through the gate? And to get it through the gate, the club's going to have to come more from the inside and less from out in. If I don't swing through the gate, I'm going to clatter both of those tees. So that's immediate feedback for you if you're swinging over the top or out to in, which is going to be conducive to a pulled shot if your club face matches where you're swinging. And then you can build up the speed. You can make it even closer or wider depending on how challenging you want to make this particular task. And then from there, can we just swing through the gate? And so you see that ball would start more to the right, and if I've got a good club face, it may start to turn back in. In that case, it's just sort of stayed right, so that's a straight push, but my club path is more from the inside, 3 degrees, club face exactly square to the path. So some great ideas there, guys, to help you stop pulling the golf ball. You've got the aim, check your alignment. You've got the concepts of hand path, less out, more down, less rotation, more lowering. Good concepts to get the club on a better path into the ball. And a few drills there with the Justin Rose drill. You've got the 430 path visuals on the ground and the gate drill. Between all of those, guys, you should be well on your way to reducing those pulled shots. So guys, I hope that helped. If it did, please post a comment below. Let me know how you're going. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.